Hi, welcome to Glow's Kindred Kitchen, and I'm Glow. Well, today I wanted to share a recipe with you that I have made for many years, and it is absolutely delicious. I received this recipe from a lady by the name of Norma Boyer, who I used to work with a long time ago, and it is one of my favorites actually as far as an ice cream dessert goes. And it requires Oreo cookies. This is the Aldi brand of that. And a half a cup of melted butter. I have that right here. Now the recipe is so old that I'll tell you how I knew. Well, I knew it was old anyway, but it calls for oleo, which is margarine, but I don't use that. And then it also calls for a half a gallon of ice cream. Now Norma always used Dairy Queen, but we like this Turkey Hill, so that's what we're using. So anyway, let's go ahead and get started. She says to crush up the Oreos in a blender, but I'm using a food processor, and I'm guessing that this recipe was back before food processors were a thing. So I'm going to go ahead and turn this on. And I'm just going to start dropping them in here. Oh, there we go.
How many are you putting in?
The whole package.
Fine.
So I'm going to go ahead and continue. And I'll be back after we get them all in there and crushed up, and then we're going to be adding the butter. Okay, so our Oreos are all crushed up here in the food processor. And now we're supposed to add a half a cup of melted butter, or what she called oleo or margarine, but I don't use that, but I do use butter.
Is an oleo a brand name?
It's what they used to call it all the time.
Is that the actual margarine is oleo, or is oleo a brand name that was sold?
I don't know.
I don't know either. I used to hear that.
Yeah, but as kids we always heard it. But
Yep.
Okay, so I'm going to slowly add this in here, and I'm going to turn this on. Here. I'm going to just let this go to combine a little bit. It's probably enough. So now we're going to just count it down. I find that if I do that, some of the crumbs will fall down in there, so I don't have such a mess. There we go. So I'm going to just go ahead and put this over here. We've had kind of a cooking extravaganza here today. I've made bread. I don't know if you can see it over there. I've got 3 loaves of bread, and then I made a potato casserole, and now I'm making this, and it's all for tomorrow. So, but I really wanted to share all this with you guys. So next thing we do is I'm going to remove this blade. And remember, these blades are always very sharp. So now I'm going to just take this mixture and put it down in here. So I'm going to go ahead and continue to put this down in here, and I'll be right back, and then we're going to go on to the next step. Okay, so I went ahead and I put all that crumb mixture in there, and then I just kind of pressed it with my spoon and my hands to get it all in place. It smells like Oreo cookies, you guys. So I did lightly butter the pan before I put that in there too. I don't think it's necessary, but I've always done that. So anyway, the next step is you want to have your ice cream softened. So I'm hoping this is softened enough. It was 80 degrees here today, so let me just get a spoon.
Put it in the microwave for a few seconds.
Oh, I'm not doing that. I would let it just set for a little bit.
I know somebody does that, or did that.
Is that you?
No.
No?
You used to work with. Just to soften it up enough.
So anyway, I'm going to continue with this and I'll be back and then we'll go on to the next step.
Sounds good.
Well, I got ice cream all spread on here. It does not have to be perfect because after this freezes tonight in my freezer, tomorrow morning we're going to be making a sauce together, a hot fudge type sauce that we're going to spread over the top of this, and then we're going to put it back in the freezer for dinner tomorrow. So anyway, I'm going to cover this up. This is the way I do it, at least, is I take some saran wrap or plastic wrap and I'm going to cover my dish. Just like that. And then I take my lid that goes to my dish that I have here, and I'm going to put that on there. And now that's going to go in my freezer for overnight. It'll get nice and cold, and then I'll see you in the morning, and we're going to do the hot sauce together.
Bye-bye.
Hi. Well, it's the next morning, and we're going to make this sauce together. I got all the ingredients out here for us, and I'm going to go through them for you. The recipe that Norma had calls for a half a cup of butter. So 1 stick is a half a cup of butter. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in my pot. And I'm going to put that like on medium to start with. So that's about number 5 on my stove. And it calls for 1 cup of sugar. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in. And it calls for evaporated milk, a large can of it, which I have here. When you're using canned goods and you're going to open them up, remember, always wipe it off good with a cloth. I had already done it with a soapy cloth, and then I have my cloth that I always keep by me anyway. And you want to make sure it's shaken well. For a can like this that I'm going to be pouring out of, what I've always been taught to do by my mom is to open up one side, and then you don't have to open up the other side all the way if you don't want to, but this makes it so it's pourable. So I'm going to go ahead and just pour that in here. And this is evaporated milk. So then the next thing that it calls for is it says to put in 2 squares of unsweetened chocolate. Well, I don't have any of the unsweetened chocolate on hand in squares, but I do have cocoa, and you can interchange these. So for each square of unsweetened chocolate, it requires or it equals 3 tablespoons of the cocoa. So it calls for 2, so that means I need 6 tablespoons. 1 tablespoon, back up. 2 tablespoons is 1/8 of a cup. So I have 1/8 of a cup measuring cup here. So if I want 6 tablespoons total, I'm going to use 3 of these. I hope that's not confusing. Remember back in school when they were teaching us math and stuff, I remember so often people saying, oh, I don't need that to learn that. But yeah, you do. It's a life skill.
Basic math.
Yep. Now the trig and stuff when I was in school, I don't recall that because I never used it afterwards. But if I was in a field that used it, yeah, I would remember it. So also, when you're substituting the cocoa for the unsweetened, chocolate squares. Thank you. For each square that you're substituting, so 3 tablespoons of the cocoa, you need 1 tablespoon of the oil. And today I'm using just canola oil. So this is going to require just 1/8 of a cup. There we go. Put that right in there. So, and then at the tail end, I'm going to be adding just a couple dashes of salt and about 1.5 teaspoons of the real vanilla extract. That's all there is to it. So now let's see if this is starting to melt yet, and it's not. But after this all comes together and it comes to a boil, I'm going to be simmering this at and cooking this for about 15 minutes till it becomes thick. So I'll be back with you in a little bit here so I can show you as it's progressing. And then at the tail end of all of this, we're going to let this cool down, and then we're going to pour it over our ice cream dessert. So anyway, I'll be back in just a little bit. So you can see how our our chocolate sauce here is boiling. I just turned it down to low, so it's starting to go down a little. But this has got to continue to cook here for probably about another 7 minutes or so until it thickens. And then it's got to completely cool. But I'll be coming back to show you, as it's thickening more, towards the end. And then, of course, when we're ready to put it on to our ice cream dessert, I'll show you that as well. So I'll be back.
We'll be here.
Well, look at this, you guys, how that's getting thick now. I'm going to show you how it coats your spoon. See how that just stays right on the spoon?
Right.
So I know it's ready. So what I'm going to do now is put a few dashes of salt. And, you can tell it wasn't very much at all. I'm going to turn my burner off. And I'm going to put in 1.5 teaspoons of the real vanilla. There we go. I'm just going to stir this. I'm going to take it off the burner and let this cool. Once it's cooled, we'll come back and we're going to put this over the top of our dessert. And then I'm going to be decorating it with chopped walnuts. So anyway, I'll be back. It'll probably be about an hour for this to completely cool.
Bye-bye.
Well, I just took my ice cream dessert out of the freezer. So let's take a look at that. And our chocolate sauce is all cooled off. Oh yeah, look at that. And don't worry about it if you've got cookie crumbs like I do around here, because this chocolate sauce is going to cover it. Even if it didn't cover it, it would still be pretty. So look at the sauce, you guys. See how nice that's set up? And then once it freezes, it's going to be really nice. So let me see if I can turn this a little so you guys can see better. Is that better?
Yep.
Okay.
I mean, hold it where it's comfortable.
That's all right. That way you guys
know it's
can all
chocolate sauce
see.
coming out.
I'm definitely right-handed. I try to be more left-handed, but I'm not. Our kids are ambidextrous, and you are too, Richard.
With some things.
So, here we go.
Save the pot for me.
Yeah, that's really good, I'm sure. So now with my offset spatula, I'm just going to spread this. You could have probably spread it with that spatula as well. But
that's why I have an offset one. It's easier.
Yeah.
It's easier.
Now Norma, according to her recipe, she puts Cool Whip on top of this. I have never done that.
I think that'd be a lot.
I think it would make it too rich for us. But by all means, try it if you would like to. I just thought I'd put that out there. She says at Christmas time, she actually decorates it with green and red sugar. Today I'm going to decorate it with nuts. I have some walnuts here, and I'm going to sprinkle those on top. And then before I serve it, anybody that wants some whipped cream, I have some whipped cream to put on it as well. Okay, so here's my chopped nuts. I'm just going to sprinkle those over. That chocolate smells really good.
Yes, it does. That's rich enough the way it is. Whipping cream or anything else would be too much for me.
This dessert is always a hit. I have yet to run across someone that did not like it. I'm sure there are people out there that don't like chocolate or whatever, but this would be a hit. You're going to have a few, though.
Yeah, there was a guy on Wheel of Fortune the other night who said he hates chocolate.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. And we have a very good friend who does not like chocolate pudding. And that really surprised me. I think that's the first time I've ever heard of someone that didn't like chocolate pudding. So there you go. Everybody likes something different. And that's good, because that's what makes the world go round.
And it was homemade chocolate pudding.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So anyway, look at this, you guys. Doesn't that look delicious? Now I'm going to put it back in the freezer so that the chocolate sauce will set up really good. And then when it's dessert time for dinner, we're going to have a taste tester here with us to try it out. So I'll be back.
Bye-bye.
Well, now it's time for the taste test. And guess what, you guys? I have a special taste tester here with us. This is our youngest son, Max. And he had dinner with us here tonight, and we had salmon and mashed potato casserole and salad. And now we have this delicious dessert. It's a frozen ice cream dessert, and it has the Oreo crust and then the ice cream and then the hot fudge topping. So Maxime volunteered to be the taste tester for this. So go ahead, hon.
That's very good.
What's good about it?
Well, everything.
Okay, good. That's good.
Yeah, the Oreo crust is really nice. The fudge just pulls everything together really well, and the walnuts are a nice little crunchy touch. Very pleased, very pleased.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
Another satisfied customer.
Yeah, I love making this dessert. It's super easy. You can make it ahead of time for when you're entertaining, and it doesn't take long at all to make either, and with very few ingredients. And it definitely does. It's a nice treat. It's something you don't get in a restaurant usually. So, Max, I want to thank you for joining us and volunteering to be our taste tester here tonight. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
And I hope everybody's enjoyed this video. And if you have and you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, please do. Give me a like, a thumbs up, and comment. And we'll see you again in the next video. Have a wonderful day.
Or 2 thumbs up.
Bye.